Hello folks, it's me Onion and welcome back to Good Soup Games. Today we have a fun Warlock Strand build which mixes together crazy levels of suspension, chain reactive ad clear and orb generation. All this is achieved through a simple yet effective gameplay loop, as seen here. Wasting no more time, let's get into the build. The exotic of choice is Nezarec Sin. Now I know some of you may be confused as this is a Strand build and not a Void build, but Nezarec Sin works on any class provided your weapons are Void. Exotic perk, Abyssal Extractors, allows us an increase in ability recharge rate on our Void damage kills, which we'll be getting many of with our top tier Void weapons, which we'll discuss later. Now on to the Strand setup. The first and most important aspect of this build is Mind Spun Invocation. This aspect is what is going to allow us to suspend our targets. It will do this by making it so we can consume our grenade. Upon consuming our grenade, we will get a 25-second buff called Weaver's Trance. Whilst this buff is active, Final Blows will cause a suspending burst which will suspend all nearby targets, and as you have seen, this can set off a chain reaction of suspending waves. Our other fragment is the Wanderer. This aspect essentially allows us to double down on the whole suspension loop. It does this by making it so tangles thrown or shot will detonate into another suspending burst. Healing Rift is our class ability of choice, purely as this build lacks in self-sustained heals, and the Healing Rift is one of only two ways we'll be able to heal ourselves. Melee isn't really a choice as there is only one, and that's Arcane Needle. It gives us a ranged melee, 3 charges, and grants Unravel on the target, which can travel between enemies, adding extra damage to those suspended or otherwise. Shackle Grenade is what must be chosen in the grenade category, as without the Shackle Grenade the whole build doesn't work as we can't activate Weaver's Trance any other way. Super, you can't choose this either as there isn't a choice. It's a shame Darkness classes don't have multiple supers, but fortunately Needle Storm is a decent one, providing high single target DPS and decent ad clear. Onto the fragments. Thread of Continuity starts our fragment slots. Thread of Continuity makes it so our suspended targets stay suspended for longer. Pretty important in a build revolving around suspend. It's also handy for keeping chunkier targets up in the air whilst you need to deal more damage. In the second spot we have Thread of Wisdom. Defeating suspended targets creates orbs of power. As so many enemies will be suspended, we should generate a lot of orbs. These orbs of power are going to be important in the regeneration of our abilities. Speaking of orbs of power, the number 3 fragment, Thread of Warding, utilises these as it grants us Woven Mail for 5 seconds upon orb pickup. Woven Mail gives a huge 45% extra to our damage reduction, helping you tank them possible lethal shots. To round out our fragments, I use Thread of Generation. Dealing damage grants grenade energy, which as everything is built upon the grenade, getting it back as fast as possible is ideal for the loop to continue. Le stats. Resilience as per is the most important stat in PvE and should always be at 100. This will give you a 30% damage reduction across the board. Discipline is on par with Resilience for importance in this build, as we want to get our grenade back as soon as possible, as the build won't function properly without it. At 100, this will put the cooldown to 1 minute 16 seconds. That might still seem a lot, but with Nezarec Sin and the mods, the cooldown will be cut down considerably. Recovery is third as per for a Warlock. Getting our class ability back faster is always handy, as this build doesn't have much in case of health replenishment. Strength's not really important as we get 3 melee charges, so you don't need to worry about it. Plus we get energy back from Nezarec Sin, which will speed it up if you're worried. Anything from 30 over will suffice. Same again for intellect, it's not really important. We get our super back faster or pick up and all the damage we'll be dealing. Mobility, once again dead stat at the moment for PvE Warlocks, so go as low as possible here. Let's look at our weapon arsenal. The graviton lance is our primary and a major part of the build. The Gravy Lance comes stacked with great perks, and these mixed with recent pulse rifle buffs make this weapon phenomenal in PvE and PvP. With the catalyst we will get 4 perks. These are Black Hole, this will make every second round of the burst do more damage. Vorpal Weapon grants extra damage to bosses and vehicles. Turnabout, which gives an overshield on breaking an enemy shield. And lastly, the most important one which completes this build is Cosmology. This is what spawns the Void Seekers, which multiply and deal damage onto targets upon an enemy kill. Mixing this with the Weaver's Trance buff, the synergy makes the room go boom. The heavy weapon I like to use is Commemoration. It's a craftable weapon from the Deepstone Crypt raid. I like to use the popular and potent combo Reconstruction and Killing Tally for a fantastic add clear. The origin trait, Bray Inheritance, gives us ability energy on enemy hits, helping the cooldowns of everything in our build. If you're unable to raid to get Commemoration, then another choice here could be Hammerhead. Hammerhead is also a void light machine gun with a plethora of great perks, and its origin trait, Indomitability, also works great for the setup. It's also an easier weapon to get as you can acquire it from Onslaught and can focus farm it from Zavala. My secondary of choice is the Call. This is just a fantastic little pocket powered sidearm that hits hard and is quite versatile in use. The only perk I would say is a must on this is Demolitionist, as it helps with grenade regeneration. As the Call is a Strand weapon, it synergizes perfect with the build and its mods. Now the artifact mods. So, there's only 2 artifact mods I could recommend for this setup, as almost none of them affect it. This being Armor Piercing Pulse Rifle. This will of course allow our Gravy Lance to pierce through champion shields, but also other shields like the Hydras and the Knights. The second artifact mod is Threaded Blast. This will make our Tangle explosions bigger and deal more damage when shot with a Strand weapon, hence why we use the weapon the Call. The last crucial part of this build, the armor mods. On the head we use Void Siphon mod, granting an overpower upon rapid void kills, perfect as all the void kills we'll be getting. The other helm mod is just simple heavy ammo finder to allow us to use our heavy more often if we choose. On the arms I run 2 impact induction mods. This will grant 17% grenade energy back when hitting an enemy with melee. The other mod I like to use is a Void Loader. This is due to countless times in higher end content I just need slightly quicker reload to proc the loop when I'm in a pinch. Chest mods are whatever resistances I need for the activity and enemies faced, so change quite often. On the boots I run Innovation, Absolution and Better Already. Innovation and Absolution will help with energy returns, and Better Already is our second source of healing as it grants restoration on all pickup, which combined with Thread of Warding gives a nice damage resist heal combo. Finally in the bond I use 2 bomber mods for even more grenade returns and a Reaper mod for extra orbs. And that is all you need to know about this fun suspend build. Just charge up and consume your grenade, shoot, explode and loop it around. I found this build most effective in Master difficulty and below, although it can be used in Grandmaster content but requires you to be a bit more cautious as shown in my Grandmaster gameplay. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. A like, comment and subscribe would be greatly appreciated from us. That is all for today. My name is Onion and this was Good Soup.
Civic's Prime cast a great shadow over us. With its destruction, all the devils will grow wickeder. But we must stay vigilant. The fallen are crafty, and they'll find ways to survive. They always do.